get real-time Secretary of State data. So we offer real-time, as in whatever reflects on the Secretary of State, we are going to have it for you. We can even get screenshots. So that data will be there available as screenshots, documents where it's available, officers where it's available. We're going to get all the data that you can get from the Secretary of State. We can get it. We have integrations into all 51 states. And when a business registers, when they start, they have to register their business. And the Secretary of State tracks things, especially, this is what most people want, is things like the status, like is the business in good standing? And this is to help them assess risk. The big things they're looking for are fraud. Is this business real or is it not real? We went through and we did a research project where we wanted to find all the different statuses that exist with the Secretary of State. We found 402 different statuses in all 50 states. This is kind of a big deal. Let's say that you, as the savvy commercial underwriter you are underwriting a business for a commercial loan, and you see the status come back from the Secretary of State as suspended. What does that mean? Is that a concern? Should you hold off on this loan when everything else looks great? Well, we're going to talk about this more in this video. So it's really important that you understand the different statuses that each Secretary of State provides and what they mean. Today, we're going to walk through the statuses specific to a certain state. Delaware's 20 business entity statuses you need to know. Let's begin with the first status. Number 1, good standing. The entity's existence has not been terminated either voluntarily or administratively. This status generally indicates a lower risk for lenders, as it suggests the business is compliant with state requirements and likely operationally stable. Let's proceed to number 2, canceled. A certificate of cancellation has been voluntarily filed by that entity to terminate its existence. This certificate is filed when an entity has dissolved and at the completion of winding up the entity. Lenders should be extremely cautious with canceled entities, as they have ceased operations and are unlikely to have ongoing revenue or assets. Number 3, dissolved. A certificate of dissolution has been voluntarily filed by the corporation to terminate its legal existence. Similar to canceled status, dissolved entities pose significant risk for lenders, as they are no longer operating and may have limited assets or ability to repay loans. Now let's proceed to number 4, expired. A limited liability partnership or limited liability limited partnership has not filed their annual report in a timely manner. A reinstatement and all annual reports that have not been filed may be filed to reinstate the LLP or LLLP to good standing status. Refer to Title 6, Chapter 15, Section 1003. Expired status indicates potential compliance issues and operational instability, which may increase lending risk, though the possibility of reinstatement suggests the business could return to good standing. Number 5, forfeited. A corporation has on record a certificate of resignation of registered agent, and the appointment of a new registered agent was not filed within the designated period of 30 days. This status suggests administrative negligence and potential communication difficulties, which could be red flags for lenders assessing the business's management capabilities and stability. Now let's proceed to number 6, resign to appointment. An unincorporated nonprofit association filed the pursuant to Title 6, Chapter the 19th of May, appoint an agent to receive service of process. If such agent resigns from this appointment, the entity would show this status. While specific to nonprofits, this status indicates a gap in the entity's legal representation, which could impact its ability to receive important communications and may suggest administrative challenges. Number 7, canceled voided. A limited partnership, limited liability company, or partnership failed to pay their annual tax for a period of 3 years from the date it is due. This status indicates severe tax delinquency and likely financial distress, presenting a high risk for lenders and suggesting potential operational cessation. Let's proceed to number 8, consolidated. A certificate of merger and consolidation has been filed. The existence of this entity has terminated and a new entity has been created as a result of the filing. Lenders should be aware that the original entity no longer exists, and any lending decisions should be based on the newly created entity's status and financials. Number 9, merged. A certificate of merger between one or more entities has been filed. This entity did not survive the merger, but was merged into another entity. Similar to consolidated status, lenders should focus on the surviving entity's status and financial health when making lending decisions. Let's proceed to number 10. Converted. A certificate of conversion has been filed. This entity has been converted to an entity that is in existence in another jurisdiction. Lenders should investigate the entity's new jurisdiction and status, as this change could impact regulatory compliance and financial reporting requirements. Number 11. AR filed tax Delinquent. This represents a corporation that has filed the required annual report. However, there are still delinquent taxes due. While the entity shows some level of compliance by filing reports, the tax delinquency suggests financial difficulties that could impact loan repayment ability. Let's proceed to number 12. Revoked. A limited liability partnership that has not filed their annual report. The statement of qualification or statement of foreign qualification of the LLP has been revoked by the Secretary of State. Revoked status indicates severe compliance issues and potential operational instability, presenting significant risks for lenders. Number 13, AR delinquent, tax paid. This represents a corporation that has paid taxes in full. However, the required annual report has not been filed. While tax payment is positive, the failure to file annual reports may indicate administrative issues or potential operational changes that lenders should investigate further. Let's proceed to number 14, forfeited resigned. A limited partnership, limited liability company, or partnership that has on record a certificate of resignation of registered agent and the appointment of a new registered agent was not filed within the designated period of 30 days. This status suggests administrative negligence and potential communication difficulties, which could be red flags for lenders assessing the business's management capabilities and stability. Number 15, surrendered. A certificate of voluntary dissolution before issuance of shares or before beginning of business has been filed with the Division of Corporations. This status indicates the entity never became fully operational, presenting significant risks for lenders as there may be no assets or revenue stream to support loan repayment. Number 16, transfer. A certificate of transfer has been filed, and the result of such transfer is the cessation of its existence as an entity of the state of Delaware. Lenders should be aware that the entity no longer exists in Delaware and should investigate its new status and jurisdiction before making lending decisions. Number 17, AR delinquent, tax due. This represents a corporation that has not filed the required annual report and there are delinquent taxes due. This status indicates significant compliance issues and potential financial distress, presenting high risks for lenders. Let's proceed to number 18, void. A corporation that failed to pay its annual franchise tax for a period of 1 year, or a foreign corporation that has not filed their annual reports within a 2-year period. Void status suggests severe compliance issues and potential cessation of operations, presenting significant risks for lenders. Number 19, withdrawal. A voluntary certificate of withdrawal has been filed by the corporation, which is registered, qualified to do business in Delaware as a foreign corporation, but domestic in another jurisdiction, to terminate its authority to transact business in the state of Delaware. Lenders should investigate the entity's status in its domestic jurisdiction, as withdrawal from Delaware may indicate a change in operations or market focus. Number 20, ceased good standing. This represents an entity that failed to pay their annual taxes timely. For example, 2002 taxes due June 1st, 2003 were not received by end of day June 1st, 2003. While less severe than some other statuses, this indicates potential financial difficulties or administrative issues that could impact the entity's stability and ability to repay loans. All right, let's look at an example if we wanted to do something like this and kind of how Cobalt Intelligence can help you with this. This right here is an example using this API. Now, Cobalt Intelligence is an API first, where the idea is that you can get all this data via API and get it integrated right into your system. Let's say you search for this business, 199 Franklin RC in California. So we're gonna hit send, and this is what we get back. Now, the status is suspended FTB, and this right here, specifically for California, is the Franchise Tax Board, which means it's delinquent with its taxes in California. Not enough to be terminated, but enough to put it in suspension. So this is somewhat of a risk here. Now, this could be hard to go through because, like we said, there's 402 different statuses out there. So what you can do is use this normalized status, where we go through and interpret these things and we mark it as inactive. And we're gonna put those as two different options. It's either going to be active or it's going to be inactive. And so then you can programmatically, as you integrate this into your API and as this is processing through your software, you're going to get a feedback that says, hey, this business is active or inactive and may prompt further note. So it can kind of take it down certain paths. Now, if I was building this, I would use that as, like I said, a programmatic decision maker and put it in the, oh, this needs questioning right here. If it's inactive, I'm going to automatically put this in stipulations where someone's going to have to go and follow up further. And then you could display the string of suspended FTB, and then your underwriters could go through and check it and say, okay, this is something we need to dig further into, and this, or maybe not, or maybe we just decline the file altogether. I hope this has been helpful for you to see how these different statuses in the state can really vary and how it can be different for you and impact your business. I invite you to try the Secretary of State API. We have a free trial that it comes with, so you can go ahead and try it out. We also offer paid pilots, so you can try out a big number of searches and see really if the data is something that can be helpful for you. I'm Jordan Hansen. If this has been helpful at all, hit that like and subscribe button. We will help you out with what you're trying to do. Thank you.